Hey guys, what's up? Laz here. I wanted to talk to you guys today about why it's hard to change habits, or at least why we think it's hard. Because changing your habits is not really hard, we just make it hard for ourselves. Well, in my perspective, I think we make it hard for ourselves because we're comfortable in our current situation. And this comfort that we have stops us from wanting to make a change. We feel comfortable doing our daily bad habits. And by bad, I mean things that don't give you progress in your life, something that holds you from becoming your truest self, or getting you to your highest potential. That could be for anybody, could be video gaming, drugs, overeating, things like that. We become addicted to these things to a point too, because they give us a certain amount of pleasure. And that's why it becomes hard to want to change out of those habits. What ends up happening is we create this mental prison for ourselves, one that we have the key to, but we decide not to get out of it. We have the key to this prison that we made up, but we decide to stay in it because it's nice and cozy. A lot of it also has to do with fear of change, fear of trying something new, fear of moving forward, because ultimately it's really fear of the unknown, because we don't know what's going to happen. So therefore we're comfortable in our daily bad habits because we know what's next. We know what's coming. I, for one, had an issue with video games. I would play constantly, almost like up to 12 hours a day. It was really bad. I started to know this. I started to realize how bad it was pretty late, because I started gaming when I was a kid. I started when I was like, I want to say like 8, and it wasn't that bad then, but over time, of course, it got worse as I grew, and I grew interested in other games. And the point is that I started realizing that I had a really bad addiction at the age of 24, and it took me a while. It took me a while to realize that. Even though people would tell me, I would just ignore it because I was comfortable. I enjoyed playing video games. It was my escape. And a lot of these things are escape from escape from your problems, escape from your actual reality. So, we become addicted to this escape. And that's why it becomes hard. The first step in realizing that you have a problem is when you start to notice that it starts to affect your personal life. People around you start telling you, hey, look, you have a problem, do something about it. That's one way you can notice. Another one is that if it's taking up a lot of your time and that's all you do, then yeah, that's definitely a problem. And everything in moderation. I've learned to control my video game habits. I've been able to time myself to play only a certain amount of time, and it would be after I'm done doing everything that I need to do. And then once I'm done with everything I need to do, I can reward myself with some video game time. But it was hard getting there, but it's all through discipline and wanting to change. That's 90% is you. The other 10% is other people trying to help you, but 90% of it is you helping yourself. That's all you got, man, at the end of the day. Anyways, guys, this is just something I want to share with you. If you have any questions on how maybe you could notice these patterns or break these patterns, feel free to DM us, and remember to stay elevated. Greetings, everybody. My name is Lazaro, and I'm co-founder of Mind Body Elevated. Last video, we talked about bad habits and how to break them. Today, in this video, we're going to be talking about how to create good habits and how to keep them. The first thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is that if you want to create a good habit, we have to have a plan. What do I mean by a plan? By a plan, I mean a goal. Set a goal for yourself, something that you want to see happen in your life. Once we set a goal for ourselves, we have something to motivate us to do it. We have to build up to this good habit, and that's why we create a plan. Once we have a plan, we have to make sure it's something that's realistic. You can't be saying, I'm going to be an astronaut in a year. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something realistic and time-bound. By time-bound, I mean something that has to be done in a certain amount of time. That way you put some kind of pressure on yourself. That way it's not up in the clouds. I'm like, oh, I'll do this whenever. No, there has to be a time set for this to be done. After you've created a plan for your long-term goal, you have to make sure to have also micro goals. What are these micro goals? Okay, micro goals are basically smaller goals that you set up that ultimately lead up to your larger goal. For example, if my goal is to become a good artist, then I have to set tiny goals that all lead up to that major goal. So what would I do? I would make sure that I draw at least for 1 hour every single day, anything random, whatever I can draw, and that way I practice my drawing and I keep drawing and drawing and drawing, and eventually I'll pick up the skill. Setting these micro goals is very important, because by doing this, we give ourselves a sense of discipline, and having discipline, we stay steady in doing what we need to do. It's a way to force us to stay on the path. That's why discipline is very important. Another thing would be to be positive. You can't set yourself to do something and constantly be negative the whole time, saying, "Oh, I can't do this. This is too hard," or "I'll never get there." No, you got to take that all out of the window. You got to be positive the whole time. I can do this. I will do this. And in between this time and this time, this will be done. A good way to stay positive also is using affirmations. When you sit down and meditate, you could sit down, close your eyes, and repeat a mantra to yourself. For example, saying, "I will become the best artist I can be. I am the best artist I can be." You have to repeat this in your head over and over. That's what a mantra is. And by you repeating it over and over in your head on a daily basis, for maybe just 5 minutes, actually, you don't even need to do it for 5 minutes. You could do it for 2. If you do this consistently, day by day, you'll begin to believe it. And once you begin to believe it is when you can really manifest it. It's all about manifestation and using the power of the mind. It's like reprogramming yourself to do something that you want to do. The brain is a computer at the end of the day. We tend to look at the brain as something separate from us, but it's all part of us. We have the power to reprogram our brains to do what we want to do. You can't let your thoughts control your life. You control your thoughts. You have the power to control your mind. You just have to be conscious of it. Once you become conscious, you have the power. Nothing but you can stop you. Another thing I want to make clear is that once you have your plan, you set up your micro goals, and you stay positive, you need to make sure that you get rid of any excess options, anything that can get in your way, anything extra that can be weighing you down, so your path is as clear as possible. If you want to be the best artist you can be, you have to pick one specific field in art. You can't just be all over the place. You have to pick one thing. I want to be the best sketching artist. Then you focus on sketching. You don't go do some portraits or you do some landscaping. No, you focus on sketching, and once you got that down, then you move on to the next thing. Because what happens when you have too many things open and too many distractions, you don't put your full focus on one thing, and then you become a jack of all trades, master of none. So basically, you become mediocre. You want to be the best you can be at everything, so you got to put your full focus on one thing at a time. That's how you become a master. And the last and final thing, this is a very, very, very important one, is that you reinforce yourself every time you do something positive that leads to your goal. So whenever you finish doing your sketch for 1 hour a day, as you would do every day, you reinforce yourself with extracurricular activity. It could be entertainment, it could be a hobby, something that you enjoy. You can reinforce yourself with something edible, with foods. By doing that, you're going to associate that experience with something positive, with reinforcement. That's how the mind works. We all like to work for something, right? Because if you work day by day without reinforcing yourself, you're not going to want to do what you need to do. You're going to be like, "Oh, this is a drag. I don't want to do this. This is a lot of work, But if you reward yourself, you're going to associate it with something positive. Therefore, you're going to want to be motivated to do it, So I hope these tips helped you guys out. We're always available to talk to you guys. If you have any further questions for us, please DM us at MindBodyElevated on Instagram, and we appreciate the support. Like and subscribe, and remember, stay elevated.